You could probably name 3 characters right now who wear a bodysuit, so there's no doubt that bodysuits are so versatile for cosplay. And here's exactly what you need to know to make one of your own, and I promise it's beginner friendly because I myself am a beginner. So I got my pattern from Kinpatsu Cosplay. Kinpatsu is a little bit taller than me, so I scaled down the pattern a little bit. Now here are some important tips because stretch fabric can be daunting, can be finicky to work with, but very manageable. The staff at Fabricana gave me some helpful pointers, so I'm just going to share them with you. Number 1, use 4-way stretch fabric. Mine is the material that you would use in yoga or dance apparel, and I would also recommend getting a stretch needle or a ballpoint needle. I would also recommend practicing with that needle different types of stitches. Personally, I would choose something that has a diagonal portion and a straight portion, but you could also use something like a straight zigzag, a triple stitch, like going forward and back and then forward again, or you could use a lightning bolt stitch. All of those would work. Another key for sewing stretch fabric is not to stretch the fabric while you sew. You have to let the feed dogs on your sewing machine do all the work. Like, don't pull it, otherwise it's going to gather a bit once you release it, and it leaves you with a puckered or a wavy seam. You can also consider whether you want your zipper to be on the side or the back. I prefer a back zipper, so I sewed an invisible zipper there, and as always, measure twice and just cut once. I was really thrilled with how the seams lined up, and then I got to experiment with bias tape for the very first time, which basically just required lots of careful, slow ironing and pinning. I patterned the sleeve decoration myself in a way that matched the reference, and they kind of look like flower petals. So that was all done, and finally, with the same bodysuit material, I made the gloves. At this point, I've made like 6 pairs maybe of gloves for cosplay, so this wasn't a huge challenge. You just need to trace your hand, add a seam allowance, and very slowly, very carefully sew that up. I did end up redoing these gloves since the cosplay includes hand armor, so in order for the hand armor to have something to adhere to, I sewed thin strips of foam right onto the gloves before sewing the 2 sides of each glove together. And that's something that I would recommend trying if you are working on a cosplay that involves hand armor. Ultimately, the bodysuit was very comfy to wear all day at the convention, like it is meant for sports like dance and gymnastics anyways. I just put on the bodysuit, clip on the dress, and then put on the armor and the wig to get the full look. One more thing is that there are patches of Velcro all over the bodysuit. When you wear armor, like say on your shoulders, on your arms, on your knees, you're not going to want this armor to shift around from left to right as you walk around throughout the day. So for example, on my knee, there is a piece of knee armor, and on the left and right sides on the bodysuit, there are strips of Velcro just to keep that in place. So it's not only held in place with the elastic in the back, but also held in place by the 2 pieces of Velcro on each side. Thanks for being here all the way till the end. Here's some of the final photos, and I'll see you in our next tutorial.